you are not a terrible parent for increasing your kids' screen time. Let's talk about it. You might have some extra work to do. You might have to go run an errand. Maybe you have a meeting. Maybe you need to get your kids out of your hair. Whatever the thing is, if you're increasing your kids' screen time, there's always going to be, typically, an underlying guilt with it. It's like, oh my God, am I a bad parent for increasing their screen time? I know they're only supposed to get 2 hours, and now it's 2 hours and a half, and oh my God, like, I just feel like I am failing. Let's just all agree on one thing for a second. Not all screen time is equal. The screen time studies are conflicting, and there is not enough evidence to come to an actual hard line of exactly what you should do. However, when kids are a little bit younger, there's a little bit more research, but as they get older, it really honestly depends on the family, and so let's talk about it. Hey, I'm CyberFareedah. I'm an award-winning Forbes 30 Under 30 online safety educator helping you protect your kids online. Now, while my expertise and niche is online safety, I am not a pediatrician. I am not a doctor. So I highly recommend that you consult with your pediatrician, with your doctor. You go do some research on your own. However, from my own research, this is what I have found. Let's break it down based off of age, and then we'll break it down based off of general screen time. And then we're gonna end this. If your kid is 2 years old or younger, that's when you have to worry about screen time the most. Ideal, awesome, beautiful world, no screen time is the best. You really want as little screen time as humanly possible, but if you do have screen time, sit with them and engage with them in the screen time. So like you can co-view. So you can ask them questions, you can say repeat after me. You can ensure that the screen time is as educational and as interactive as humanly possible. There are many different channels that are educational and they help children understand gesture, how to pronounce the alphabet, things like that. Of course, now screen time is dynamic. So screen time while watching the TV or looking at an iPad, while playing a game, or talking to their grandmother or somebody in your family or a friend on FaceTime talking is completely different. All of them are different. So you just have to decide what's best for you, what do you need in the moment, and go with that. If your kid is between the ages of 3 to 5 years old, they can understand tech and digest the information a little bit better. Learn better with slow-paced educational content, and it's actually really good for them as long as you're doing something that's interactive. Still want as little as possible, but if you can co-view with them, you can interact with them, it's educational. You need a break because your break is really important. Your mental health as a parent is really important. Do not stress yourself out. Do the best that you can. Let's say you can't interact the entire time. What you can do is put on the show, whatever's the iPad, the TV, whatever it is, have them watch it, engage with them for a little bit, then go do what you need to do, then come back and engage with them again, and as needed, depending on your schedule and what you're doing. Now, once you reach the age of 6 years old, things start to loosen up quite a bit. The main thing becomes moderation. There isn't really a hard and fast rule. Yes, we've seen studies that have hard and fast rules, but they keep changing. It's gonna take a while before we can get to the point where we can give more concrete answers to everyone's situations. But to be honest, most things are not going to be concrete. It really depends, and you have to gauge whether or not you believe the screen time is appropriate, it's in moderation, it's helpful, etc., etc. In addition to screen time, come up with some activities that you and your family can do with your kids that is outside of screen time, so that you can teach them, here's screen time, here's when we don't have screen time. And there's like a balance, a healthy, well, I don't want to say balance, I like to say harmony better, because harmony is like just flow, and I just like harmony. So there's a harmony between the screen time activities and then the off screen time activities. Between 6 to 12 years old is when you want to start developing self-regulation, critical thinking, understanding their feelings. If they're watching too much YouTube or they're playing a game way too long, if they feel a little bit frustrated, they know that that means I can take a break and I can come back to the technology at a later time. And this is the age where it's quality over quantity, moderation, and you being there to engage with them, ask some questions, and create some positive associations with tech. And don't, every time they're on tech, don't feel like, oh my God, they're on tech, that's so terrible, and have that energy towards them. Allow them to understand tech is great, tech is awesome, tech is a tool, and we're going to be in control of the tech that we use, and we're going to take a break and do other things as needed. From the age of 12 onwards, you're serving as a guide for your kids. You want to model what you want them to do. Of course, you want to model when they're 6 or 3 or 4 or 5 years old, but it becomes even increasingly more important from 12 onwards that you're actually modeling the behaviors that you want them to have as regards to interacting with tech. It is so important in this stage that you don't micromanage the screen time that they have. You really want to be there as a guide, as a mentor, as someone they can come to, as someone that can give them better advice, give them suggestions, allow them to understand why too much of this or too much of that is going to be detrimental for their goals or their health or their life, but allow them to explore, allow them to be free more than you have when they were 6 years old. Having a safe, non-judgmental, open space is imperative, especially at this age from 12 onwards. Less about controlling things now, and it's more about giving them the tools to self-regulate. I have a phrase called connections over controls. This age, 12 and onwards, is where this idea, this method applies to the most. The most important thing here is to be a positive and safe space for them. There are 3 things to keep in mind when it comes to screen time, no matter what the age. Quality over quantity. Not all screen time is created equal. Harmonize screen time, do not balance. There is no such thing as balance. When you think about balancing screen time, you think, okay, they spent 2 hours outside, so that means they can have 2 hours of screen time, and if it's 2 hours and 30 minutes of screen time, then they're gonna have to leave that and get 30 minutes here, and then, oh my God, but I have this to do, and oh my God, the time slipped away, they spent 3 hours instead of 2 hours. We're not talking about balance. We're not like 50 here, 50 here, 60 here. We're not doing that. What we're doing is harmonizing. We're making things flow easily, making a tune that we can dance to as a family, a guide that we can dance to, a feeling. When I say dance to, I mean all of the actions that you're doing is harmonizing. It's like everyone's flowing in this beautiful dance. Like think of a ball and everyone's like having fun and situated. It's still, there are some guidelines available. People know we're doing this type of dance. We're going to dance this type of dance lines to this type of music. When this music comes on, we switch partners. So there's still a guide. There's still set rules that we have. However, everyone is loose. We're free. We're having fun. It's non-judgmental, and we're still in our roles. That's how you have to look at screen time in tech. You want to make sure that you're harmonizing. Some days it's going to be more of this or more of that. As long as you're doing something that you believe is healthy for your family, your kids, your mental health, and your kids' mental health, then it is good for you. All we can do is our very best. Now that you know you're not a terrible parent for increasing your screen time, let's talk about how you can take some of the stress away of protecting your kids online. You're never going to be able to take all of the worry and all of the stress out, but if you can take at least some of it and you can give yourself some peace of mind, that's the best way to move forward. I delve into how you can take the stress out of protecting your kids online in this video right here, so be sure to click on it and watch it and implement it. All I talk about really on this channel is holistic online safety. So if you haven't yet, click the like button, smash the like button, pop the like button, and subscribe, because we are all about protecting kids online, giving them the freedom they want and the safety they need, and taking the stress out of protecting them.